Okay. Member Chen Tan,
Yes.
the meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
If it better if it can be posted on YouTube directly, but if not, fine. Maybe tomorrow session you can arrange for that. But in any case, at least we have the recording. This thing can be shared later on.
Yeah.
For those who is out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
雅丽，你的这个英语听得懂吗？
哎呀，听得懂的很少，没关系。
听得懂就可以了。我有准备了一些资料，本来要打双语的，可能明天看看有时间吗？Okay, shall we start?
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, Chen Chan, you are the host, so the host to start.
Oh. Okay. Sifu, our members, respected members of the monastic sangha, professors, and all our teachers. So good afternoon to everybody. So today we are very lucky that we have a chance to have a close communication, even though through the Zoom, through the online one. So this is a good chance for us to meet Sifu. Also, since we have quite a long time, at least I think 2 years, we not meet each other. So so this is a good opportunity for us to meet each other. So now, without taking more time, so I pass this session to our Sifu to speak to us, to talk to us. No? Sifu, please.
Okay, we start with a homage to the Buddha. Maybe we do it in Pali because most people will be familiar. Namo tassa
Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Okay, because of the delay, so this is something we have to learn to live with when we use something like Zoom. Okay, I'm happy to have this opportunity to speak to you online. In fact, I was looking forward to being physically present in Sadao when I heard that the border was going to be open on the 1st of January. But then because of the latest variant of COVID, Omicron, has created a big fear all over the world. And so this opening up between Malaysian and Thai border may happen hopefully soon, but I don't really know. But I have planned to visit Thailand as soon as it is convenient to do so, because if we do so now, we have to fly into either Bangkok or Phuket, and it's just not worth the effort. And when I do that, I will go together with Venerable Chen Sen. Two of us will go. And, I will go there I will go to Thailand for at least 30 days to make full use of the visa. And then things that I have, meetings that I have to attend, I can do that from Thailand online. Just like what we are doing now in reverse. Some of you might know that on Monday, I went for cataract operation on my right eye. After 4 years lapse, I did the other eye, the left eye, about 4 years ago, maybe more, maybe a little less than 4 years ago. And for these 4 years, it's kind of an interesting vision, you know? Because if I use my left eye, I see white. If I use the right eye, I see yellowish color. So at last, because the border wasn't open, I decided that I should do this cataract operation. The cataract operation actually is a very simple routine, so it went well. And now, every day, if I should go outside, I wear sunglasses. I still have to protect that, but next Monday I will go for a checkup. I think everything should be okay. So I can this right eye that I just undergone the cataract operation every day since Monday, I can see better and better. So for a start, I have prepared some material to share with you. Since it was a long time we last met, obviously I have quite a lot to update you. So I decided that in order to do so effectively, I maybe could use a document to share with you. And so about an hour ago, I prepared this. And then I noticed when I checked the time, it was close to 15 minutes past 2 o'clock in Thai time. So I decided, okay, I better stop. And then I will continue to add more to the slides. And I can use the same slides for the session with the students tomorrow. Maybe I will also have the time to add the Chinese language on the slides. So this is what I prepared this afternoon. Okay. How do I do? Because this is on Chromebook, I couldn't use this for last video. Okay. Let me give you a brief update on what happened to Tan Xiang. Okay, it's a typing error here. it has been a very interesting 2 years for us, both Tan Siang and also for IBC. For many people, COVID brought about a crisis. For many, it was a very difficult period. Some people lost their job and so on. And some people even had the misfortune of losing very close friends or members of a close family. But there is a saying about using a crisis. You can turn a crisis into opportunity. And actually that was exactly what happened. We took the opportunity to transform the organization. And I'm quite happy to report that after 2 years, compared with 2 years ago, the whole Tan Siang organization, I can say that have been drastically transformed. Here I use a totally transformed. Okay, before COVID, some of you might know that I stepped down from the position of abbot at Tan Siang Temple. This was 3 years ago, approximately 3 years ago. And when we did that, all our monastic members, including our monks and nuns, elected a committee of 5 members. Each committee is called the Temple Management Committee. So when I look at the election system in different areas, especially from political systems, I decided that we couldn't have one person, one vote system because it didn't make sense. So the Sangha agreed that we should have an election not one person, one vote, but the number of votes depend on the number of wasa that each individual members had gone through. So, for example, 3 years ago, I had 27. This year, 3 years later, 30. So actually, this year, our members here are going to organize special online event on the 5th of May. And we can celebrate together. Since this is going to be online. Anyway, that was how our voting system were being decided on. So when we had that election, 3 of us who had served in different roles at Tan Siang Temple, firstly myself, and then secondly Venerable Chen Sing, and then Venerable Chen Wu. 3 of us decided that we should step down. So we did not participate in that election. And the outcome of that election was we had a new committee of 5 members. And the person with the highest vote became the abbot. So by the way, in our system, we don't discriminate between monks and nuns. So it is possible for a nun to become an abbot of Tanxiang Temple in future. It was a very interesting experience for us. With that election, we had a good mix of male and female members. Just for your information, we had a Venerable Chen Tian who obtained the highest number of votes, so he became the abbot. And then we also have Venerable for our nuns, Chen Yen and Venerable Chen Nian, who were also elected. And then Venerable Chen Chang and Venerable Chen Chong, who is in the past 2 years are mostly based in New Zealand. But before that, he was in IBC for nearly 2 years. Some of you may still remember him. So these are the 5 members elected at that time. So it was interesting outcome of that. So it wasn't a case that appointed a successor. The monastic sangha elected that committee. I want to emphasize that it's an election of a committee rather than emphasizing it as an election of an abbot. Because in future, the Tanxiang Temple will be led collectively, not by one single person. So this is the way it will work in future. And by the way, some of our members had asked me. Maybe some of you might have the same question also about what will happen to Tanxiang and what will happen to IBC after I'm gone. And my answer to that is Tanxiang will be better. IBC will be better when the time comes. Why? Because hopefully by that time, we would have a very good system to ensure perpetuity, continuation of what we have been doing. So it will not, how do I say it? It will maintain some of the positive characteristics, as well as continue to evolve, continue to become better and better. So when I say that it will become better, this is what is meant, because no one person, not the abbot, can change the entire organization. The organization will be led collectively, so it's collective leadership. We live in a different time, but even during the Buddha's time, the Buddha has his monastic communities of bhikshus and bhikshunis. But at the same time, the Buddha also had the community of lay disciples or lay members, the upasakas and the upasikas. So in Tanxiang, we also have a lay sangha. A lay sangha had been established quite many years ago. Today, this lay sangha has, I cannot give you the exact number, maybe 150, 160 members. Some are very active, some are less active. So with the lay community, we also have a committee of 5 to supplement the monastic community. So if you like, the model is that at the core of the organization, we have the monastic sangha. And then just immediately outside that, we have the lay community. In order for the Dharma to continue to prosper in the world, we need this community of these 4 categories of the bhikshus, the bhikshunis, the upasakas, and the upasikas. So I'm quite happy to report to you that the lay committee also has a very balanced mixture of upasakas and upasikas, male and female members. And even more importantly, this lay community has younger members compared with the monastic community. And this is very important. This is a good sign. Any organizations without young people will become irrelevant. If we are not able to attract young people into Buddhism, Buddhism will one day become irrelevant. And this is an area, if you are very objective, to compare what is happening. Buddhist organizations are not very skillful in recruiting young members compared with, let's say, Christians and Islamic organizations. So this is something that we should be very concerned, and we should do something about it. COVID provides that very interesting opportunity. Okay, when COVID started, we received the order from government to stop group activities, and of course, for a few months, all our activities, including our kindergarten, we also have Buddhist schools. Most of the activities were affected. The schools and the kindergartens and our religious activities were stopped for quite a few months. And then we decided that we moved the activities online. So we started to do that. For example, previously we used to have weekly pujas where we could have, so every Friday and Saturday, more than 100 people, if we able to fill up the smaller hall, Tanjung Temple. At most, we could put up 200 people. So when we started to do that puja online, our members could join through Zoom or YouTube. And as of today, those Friday and Saturday puja session already has about 700 members participating. So it's even more than what we could do before. And the number is ever increasing because members in different parts of Malaysia, even in other countries, they could also participate. And then of course, we also had to do a lot of meetings online. Well, of course, in IBC, you know what happened. The government would not grant visas to new students. So our faculty staff, including our very senior professors, had to learn to conduct the lesson online, like what we are doing today. But if it had not been for COVID, I don't think this would have happened, because most people would have the idea that in order to teach effectively, I must have the students in front of me. In order to conduct a good meeting, how could that be done online? But now we had no choice. So I said, COVID is an opportunity because most people resist change. They don't want to change. They want to feel comfortable to do things the same old way. But came COVID, if you want to remain relevant, you have to change. And then people have to learn new skills. Hanxiang has quite a few departments in different areas providing different services. Some of the sections had excessive staff. So what do we do? In many organizations, they would first announce across the line salary reduction. But we didn't want to do that. So we asked our staff to learn new skills, to get prepared for better days ahead. And some of the staffs were redeployed in areas that needed their service. So let me give you an example. When COVID came, the two areas that were heavily affected were, number one, our canteen. Our canteen serves vegan food to the public during lunch hour. And we used to get from 100 to 200 people coming to our canteen. And they just give a free donation. So when COVID came, they couldn't come. And then later on, the government allowed, okay, take away. But our canteen had excessive staff. It's the same with the kindergarten. We had too many teachers. So we decided, hey, we could do things, think out of the box. In fact, we say, think out of two boxes. So canteen, instead of serving the regular customers, plus internally, because we also run kindergarten, because we also run senior citizen home. So even during COVID, canteen is an area which provide essential services that could not be stopped, but we had excessive staff. Then we started to notice that there are a lot of people, because of COVID, their income were affected. There were poor families that need to be helped financially. And one of the ways we could help them is to provide a free meals for them. And so we transform our canteen into a center where we could prepare thousands of free meal boxes to serve people nearby. And I remember when we had a flood in Korat, we had a very interesting experience of having our students and members to go and help the flood victims. At first, there was resistance to say that we ourselves are the victims. But if you ask many of our members who went through that experience, it is an experience they will never forget in the rest of their life. It was a life lesson. So with COVID, we had to do it differently. Well, there are a lot of hospitals. The hospitals were also affected. So we could serve a free meal. And vegan meal is very good because it's universal. People of different religion has no problem with a vegan meal. People with different religious faith also. So we have been trying to promote the veganism also. This is a good opportunity to do so, but it's more. There are many people out there with no food, especially illegal workers. Illegal workers were very badly affected. So we went into the different corners of the society to help people, including what I had mentioned, this group of illegal foreign workers. Why were they affected so much? Because many of them came in illegally and worked at construction sites, which were short of workers. But when the COVID hit, the contractors dare not use these foreign workers because of the spread of COVID. So they had no income. So what do? You have to help them. At least everybody need to eat. So we reach out to them and provide the meals, and also not only that, essential things that help them. So we did that. There's another interesting group. In Thailand, you have a lot of people under this category. The people who work in the red light districts. So when COVID came, because their incomes were severely affected, so they also need help. So these are the people that needed help desperately. And so if we learn all about the great compassion, this is an opportunity for us to put the Buddha's teaching into action. So it's not just a classroom knowledge. It is something real. And then in Malaysia, we have very peculiar situations of politicians creating a lot of uncertainties. In the past 3 years, we already had 3 prime ministers. And at any time, the government could collapse. So during transitional, when the politicians are playing their political games, the hospitals were short of equipment, essential equipment to help them serve the COVID patients. So then we organize ourselves to donate these equipment to the government hospitals. If we go back to our monastic committee, and I didn't mention this, but 3 of us who stepped down, we became member of a 3-member advisory committee. So our role is to provide advice to this committee, temple management committee, when they need our advice. When they don't need, we are very happy to let them run the temple freely, to learn to do so well. I also forgot to mention, when we have the monastic and the lay, their roles were complementary. So over the past 1 year or so, that division of roles or division of labor became more and more clear. So that in future we have a model whereby our monastic members would focus on spiritual cultivation and lead in guiding the lay members to practice. And at the same time, because we could focus on spiritual practice as well as in terms of our both theoretical understanding and experiences of what is taught in the Buddha's Dharma. We could focus on giving the authentic teachings of the Buddha. So this will be the role of the monastics in Tanxiang in future. Now, to run a big organizations, IBC itself needs a lot of fund. Tanxiang has a limited resources, but in the past 20 years, more than half our resources were channeled to IBC. So we need to continue to do that so that the Buddhist community become better educated, both academically and also spiritually. So it is a very, very important investment of resources. So of course, at least we need the financial resource, we need the fund. So over the past 15 years, we started to have this endowment fund. So when we have the endowment fund, we receive the donation, and we have a committee, we have an investment committee to make sure that we get a reasonable return, so that the return could be used to support educational, spiritual, and welfare activities under the big umbrella of Tanxiang. In future, this lay community will be the one that handles the investment activities of Tanxiang. We don't want our monastic members to do that. It is better to have our monastic members to be free of the need to get involved in financial matters. So this is an example. So over the past year and a half, we have been doing this. I mentioned to you that 3 years ago, we established an election system for the monastic community. So over 3 years have already passed. We could already see the need to further refine some of the details on how the election to be even better conducted in future. You might already have noticed that in that 5 members committee, 3 of them, Venerable Chen Yan, Venerable Chen Chan, and Venerable Chen Chong, they are not in Malaysia. So a few months ago, we elected 2 more persons into the committee to add this 1 more nun and 1 more monk to originally a committee of 5, but only has 2 members in Malaysia. So at least now we have 4 members in Malaysia. So this is an example, and also during the transitional phase, monastic community still needed the advice from the advisory committee. Still, so it is a good thing. This transitional period allowed us to prepare ourselves better for the future. So this is my update, the part that I have been able to complete before this meeting. From now onwards, I have to continue without this slide. Okay. So something quite exciting to further share with you. After 2 years, in Malaysia itself, we have been able to expand our activities. Over the past 30 years or so, maybe 40 years, we have been very low profile, trying to build up ourselves, both in terms of the people we have to develop our human resources and to also develop our material resources. And we are ready to think out of the box and to think big and to do big. So in Malaysia, the headquarters for Tan Siang organization will be shifted from Penang State to nearer to the central. That is what the plan is, where we have the biggest population density, the highest population density. So the headquarters in Malaysia will not be in Penang, but
Sifu, we cannot hear you clearly. Is a microphone problem or?
no, I think there's some noise.
Now it's okay.
So you might be surprised to hear this, but this is what will happen. We have a place near the Klang Valley. It's a town called Tanjung Malim, which is only about 45 to 50 minutes away from the center of Kuala Lumpur. We have a branch temple in Kuala Lumpur. From that branch temple to this place is only 45 minutes by rail or by road. So we already have 50 acres of land there. And we will use 20 acres of land to build that main temple or monastery for Tan Siang in Malaysia. Back in Penang State, the main temple in Penang State will also be shifted from the island to the mainland part of Penang State. So that will also happen. At the same time, we are ready to start more branches in different states of Malaysia. And it is very likely that we will enter into a hospital project in a town in Perak state of Malaysia. So this is the latest update that I would like to share with you. So after nearly 2 years of absence from Kuala Lumpur, I started to visit Kuala Lumpur about 3 months ago. And then I had a second visit about 6 weeks ago. In March, I will go there again because there are a lot of decisions to be made, arrangements to be made to prepare ourselves for this transformation of Tan Siang in Malaysia. So this is the update on Tan Siang in Malaysia. And as if that is not enough, now I would like to move on into Thailand. Thailand will be the next important place for Tan Siang to expand. But it is not Thailand itself. We are looking into the whole of Indochina, from Myanmar to Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. So if you look at these 5 countries, what do they have in common? Basically, these 5 countries are Buddhist countries. Or at least we like to believe that Buddhism has the strongest following in these 5 countries. But if we don't work hard for the Buddha Sasana, things will change. For example, I had a very interesting visit to Bangladesh. Bangladesh used to be a very, very important place for Buddhism. So what happened today? Bangladesh is left with less than 1% of the total population of Buddhists. And that number maybe is declining. We have many Bangladesh students. Some of our graduates continue to serve at IBC. The visit to Bangladesh was a very interesting one, because there I could understand that Buddhism, the opportunity to visit those Buddhist sites in Bangladesh brought about a very, very strong feeling inside me. And then, of course, I started to interact with different groups of Buddhists in Bangladesh. And I noticed something quite disturbing. In fact, I already observed this with our students, that being a small minority in Bangladesh itself should be a good reason for the Buddhists in Bangladesh to be united. But it is not the case. The Buddhists in Bangladesh, less than 1% of the population, are divided, and divided for the wrong reason. If we are true followers of the Buddha, this shouldn't happen. Many strange things are happening in different countries. So I take this opportunity to urge our Bangladesh students, to urge our Bangladesh graduates, and to urge my Bangladeshi friends in Bangladesh itself. Please be united, because we need unity to preserve what little is left in Buddhism in Bangladesh. Whatever is left is very, very precious. There is a very, very good lesson for us to learn about what happened to the Buddha Sasana in Bangladesh and in India after the Buddha Sasana flourished for a period of 1700 years. We should ask ourselves, why did Buddhism disappear from the land of origin, from India? Nearly totally wiped out. Fortunately, not totally. So let us learn a lesson from history. If we don't learn the lesson from history, what you see as a Buddhist country today in Indochina may not be so after another 50 years, after another 100 years. Buddhism, if we are honest with ourselves, also facing a decline in these countries. So our next step is to go into Indochina with Thailand as our center, because we have already invested in IBC. We have already established a foundation in Thailand. And over the past 15 or 18 years, we have produced graduates from many alumni from this country, and we still have students from this country. So I would like to be able to have these alumni from this country, if they agree with what we are doing, to work together in Thailand, and to work together in the country they come from, whether it's Myanmar, whether Thailand or Laos or Cambodia or Vietnam. Because over the past 40 years, Thanh Siang had established some of the things that could be done in these 5 Indochina countries as well. Of course, with modification. So the next phase of development in Thanh Siang is going to be Indochina. In fact, if you look at the land bank we have the biggest land bank in Thailand. We have more than 250 acres of land, about half in the south the other half in the northeastern part of Thailand. I'm going to say something which could be a little sensitive. I think Thailand is, Thai Buddhism is facing a very critical period. And I think it is a good thing. It is a good thing because all the while Buddhists have been very complacent in Thailand. They make themselves to believe that Thailand is a Buddhist country. It will never change. More than 90% of the population are Buddhist. To my Thai friends, please wake up. Please wake up. If we don't wake up, we may find ourselves in a very peculiar position in future. We can learn from India. We can learn from Bangladesh. We can also learn from what happened in Korea. So in Korea, all the Buddhist centers are in the monasteries. The monasteries are in the scenic spots. It's good for cultivation. So the Christians have lost following in the West. And they have that strong crisis consciousness. So they have already targeted Asia. They saw an opportunity in Asia. So they are coming into Asia. And then when they go to Korea, they saw an opportunity because all the Buddhist monasteries, the centers are all in the countryside, in a very scenic area. They went into the big cities, Korea, to spread the Christian teachings in a very, very aggressive way. So when the Buddhist monks and nuns are discovered later that many Koreans had turned into Christians, it was already too late. But maybe not too late. Some of them are already adopting to that. So we start to see Buddhist temples, Buddhist centers being built in bigger cities of Korea. So Korea is also a place for us to learn from. So for Tan Siang, we will go into Indochina with Thailand as the center, as the base, and we will try to retain the students that study in IBC. We should better organize our alumni. We could set up branches like in Thailand. The foundation is called Clinton Thumb Foundation. We could start to do the same in the other 4 Indochina countries. But we don't have to do that. This is not the only option. If there are already Buddhist organizations there, willing to transform, willing to work together, we can partner with them. We can partner with them, and if they are interested to learn how to run Buddhist kindergarten, Buddhist schools, Buddhist international schools, Buddhist university, Buddhist hospital, we can do that together. So this is in Indochina. But you must understand that why do we go into Indochina? Because more importantly, if you look at the international scene, you can already see the decline of Western countries, especially America. America is in a total shambles. So the remaining of this century will be an ancient century. Actually, the two ancient civilizations of the world are the Indian civilization and the Chinese civilization. So the Indians and the Chinese and the whole of Asia, especially the eastern part of Asia, and previously also Central Asia, were very strongly Buddhist. And with the civilizations that came even before Buddhism, these two civilizations had about at least 4,000 years of civilized society with good values established. So it is safer to have these two countries lead the world. So for Kanxiang, for IBC, after establishing ourselves in Indochina, China is very important. India is also very important because these two countries will be the superpower in the world. And if we don't have a good governments and leaders there, what you saw in the past 5 years in America with a crazy president, how that crazy person could create the chaos in the whole world. That scenario will repeat itself. So if you go to China today, you can see that the people, having many of them got out of poverty in terms of material living, more comfortable than before, no longer in hunger. So they start to be hungry for spiritual things. But if you go there, you will notice that out of 100 teachers, inverted commas, that are providing a spiritual teaching, how many are authentic? So many people who are very unfortunate get misguided by these false teachers. So China needs the Dharma very badly. And I think we have a role to play there. India, the Buddha was born, need the Dharma very badly. And I think we have a role to play there. Not only a role, we should have a sense of responsibility to help our Chinese and Indian friends. To bring back authentic teachings of the Buddha. So hopefully the world will become a better world. Not if the world is ruled by people with a very selfish motive, if people continue to destroy the environment like what we have been doing. Well, if you ask me, American are the biggest culprit. They chop down all the forests. And then they started to plant soya bean. They started to plant corn. So whatever they produce could be used to help people in famine in Africa. But no, they use this to feed cattle. They use this to produce milk. They use this to rear chicken. So you have McDonald's, you have the KFC. And then you start this factory farming of animal. This is the cause of COVID. COVID is not the first time we have this. If you look back a few years ago, before COVID, we had SARS. Then H1N1, Ebola, In Malaysia, we have an incident called the Nipah, all related to how we rear the chicken, the pigs, the cattle for meat consumption, for milk, for eggs. And we destroy the environment. If we continue to do that, 30 years down the road, the world is no longer suitable for humans. Before we started, I asked you about, how is the weather there? If you think back, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it's not as hot as what we experience now. Global warming. Global warming is something that you experience yourself. In Bangladesh, the destruction of environment brought about great sufferings of people living in the coast. And then the selfish, rich country like America, they just walk out of their commitment to do something about the global warming. So if the world is led by this type of so-called superpower, it is, it is going to be very disastrous for the world. So today, I spend a lot of time giving you updates. And many of my thoughts maybe quite strongly worded. Maybe especially coming one after another, it could be quite shocking. I just want to say that I speak from my heart. some of our members said to me, "Sifu, all the plans that you have, they are in the right direction. They are good plans. Is it possible to slow down? Because it is too fast for some of us." You know what is my answer to that? I think I will leave it to the next session. And now I think it will be more fruitful to have two-way communication. So if you have any questions or any comments to share, please feel free to do so. So I will appreciate one of you to break the ice. Normally we need that. So Mattia has raised his hand. So please, Mattia.
Yes, Chifu. Amitabha, and thank you very much for sharing all this very broad vision, which I think helps us. It's very inspiring. I wanted to just briefly ask about some places that you did not mention, but maybe you have plans for those places, and so I would like to know. One is Sarawak and Sabah, so within Malaysia, and the other one is Indonesia, whether you also have some thoughts about Indonesia or Singapore, for example.
Yes, I remember Sarawak and Sabah very fondly, and we will establish a branches there. And Indonesia is also very important. Indonesia used to be a very important center for Buddhism. We had been working with some Buddhist colleges in Indonesia. But Indonesian Buddhism at this stage is a very strange one. If you are interested to know more about it, I can share with you later on. We have been able to attract some Indonesian students. In fact, one year we had one very promising young monk who suffered from cancer, but he came in and did a BA1 and became the top student for the BA1 class, both academically as well as his conduct. But unfortunately, his cancer was already at quite a late stage. So he came to Malaysia for treatment, and then eventually we lost him. He's a very fine young man. But recently we had a female student who applied to do a PhD, and she is offering her service in one of the newer college in the city of Medan, which is very close to Penang. So I would like to get her to come to Penang for a visit. Penang, Medan, and Phuket used to be like how do I say, twin cities. There are a lot of commonalities between Penang, Medan, and the Phuket island in Thailand. So to fly from Medan to Penang is faster than flying from Kuala Lumpur to Penang. That is how close Medan is. So, of course, the bigger population of Indonesia is in Java. But Sumatra used to be quite important for Buddhism. And Sumatra, today, the Christians are very strong in Sumatra. But there are some Buddhist centers. There are some very positive signs going on. So there is certainly opportunity for us to get more Indonesian students and to work with some of the Buddhist organizations in Indonesia. I think with a good government, Indonesia will do well. Thank you, Matya, for starting this interaction. So, questions from others? I also see Sister Wei Yan. I also see Professor Jamspal, Ananda Jyoti, and so on. Teacher Tu, Brother Ku, and so many others. And of course, yes.
Thank you very much for your sharing. I would like to ask, just now you mentioned that you will be shifting Tan Siang over to the mainland, right?
Yes.
When will that be?
Why you want to join us there?
No, I'm worried because for any organization, from my understanding is, we need the leadership and then we need the people to support. So Tan Siang has been so established on the island. If you were to move it over to the mainland, will the people in Tan Siang follow over? You know what I mean?
We are not going to desert Penang Island. We are not going to do that. It was of origin of Tan Siang. Just like we will not desert Malaysia, although we are going to move in a big way into China. So you have a sentiment for Penang Island.
Yes, I would love to stay put here.
I thought you had become a resident of Kuala Lumpur already. I didn't even know you were back in Penang.
I have to be in two places because of my grandson over there.
Oh. Anyway, thank you for your comment and question. 雅丽，你有什么问题吗？你可以可以用英语问你也可以用普通话。
师父好，暂时没有什么问题，谢谢。
哦。
哎，
你听得懂刚才师父讲什么吗？
大概有30%能听得懂，然后 我可以把那个刚才您的资料嘛，我可以用那个软件翻译一下，大概应该是差不多这个样子。
哦，
嗯
这样明天我们有那个跟同学还有一个这样的交流嘛那个时候呢
对，
就没
用中文 ，OK，是好的。
谢谢你。
好，谢谢师傅。
Okay. Any other comments?
Chifu, just a very brief clarification about the place you mentioned from Old Klang Road. Is it the place where there used to be an old age home and with a kind of lake in front of it?
No, in what we call the Klang Valley, we have one old temple in Old Klang Road. This is in the middle of Kuala Lumpur City. And then the government acquired a big portion of the land for expanding the Old Klang Road. And then we bought the next piece of land, right, and built an activity center. So there we have a temple and we have a counseling center as well as a kindergarten. And sometimes when we go there, we also stay in that new building. So this is that old temple. Then the one with old folks home is in a place called Petalinjaya, the old part of Petalinjaya. So there is a senior citizen home there. But recently we just bought another bigger bungalow within walking distance from the existing home. Then in the city of Klang, we have another center. So this center had become a center for doing a lot of relief work during COVID period. And recently, with the big floods in Selangor State and Pahang State, so there is a center there also. And then we also have some other properties, some land that have not been developed yet. And in the neighboring state of Negeri Sembilan, near the KL International Airport, we have another center. The town there is called Pajam. And Wen Chen Yen's sister is there. So the next time you are able to come to Malaysia, I'll take you to all these places. Yali also is interested to come to Malaysia, but hopefully the border between Thailand and Malaysia, the land border will be opened up soon. Then you can come over or we can go over there to Thailand. I'm quite happy to see Professor Jamspal just now briefly, but now the video has been turned off. So it's good to see Professor Jamspal in better health. And, please, everybody's responsibility to take good care of him. Okay, maybe.
It's 4 o'clock.
Okay, Geshe-la, good to see you.
Yeah, Shipu, he is busy in taking refreshment.
So this is okay. So now it's good to see you. At last you are able to come to Thailand.
Yeah, I am happy. Thank you very much, Shipu.
Okay, I hope to be able to see you soon in person. Huh? I thought Professor Kapila was going to join us, but I don't see him. I don't see him in this meeting, but if it is recorded, we can share this with him later on. So when we're Chan, back to you. Huh?
Okay. Thank you very much, Shifu, for your speech and also the information and all the updates. Any one of us still want to say something? Especially now in this special session. Good to see also our members, others members from Malaysia, one like Teacher Tan, no? Tan Jiping, then Sister Wei Yen, and yeah, Sister Swambi actually yesterday she said that because she has class, actually she want to join also, but because of she has the online class, so she cannot join us. Okay? And I think that's it. No, Sifu still have anything to add? Otherwise, we end the session or what? Then we meet the student groups tomorrow morning, 9:30 Thai time. No?
Okay, I think it's a good session.
Dr. Krishna? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I see. Dr. Krishna want to say something? Oh, okay. Right.
I
Dr.
just
Krishna, she's now in Chiang Mai, no? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Shifu. Good to see you, in person, on the video, and thank you for your, all the information. And yeah, okay, good to see.
Yeah. Sanim is here. Dr. Namanandi, Sanim is here. Okay. A few words. You want to say a few words? Okay. All right.
Okay. I heard that you have got the eye operation. So now that everything is goes on smoothly and sure well. So take care. Okay, thank you. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Venerable Tamanandi. Thank you, Sunim.
Sanim. Okay. All right. So if like that, we end the session here, no? So we look forward to another session if you have the opportunity. Of course, if Sifu can come to Thailand physically, soon as the border open, then this is the best way. Okay, so okay, if like that, then I see everybody again. Again, thank you very much, Sifu. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.